The boutique was known for its elegance and charm. Tucked away on a bustling street, it was a haven for the rich and famous. Inside, every detail screamed luxury. From the sparkling chandeliers to the polished marble floors, designer handbags lined the walls, and racks of clothes shimmered with sequins and silk. It wasn't just a shop. It was a world where only the elite felt at home. Veronica, the manager, had worked there for years. She considered herself an expert at spotting wealthy clients. She loved the way they walked in with confidence, draped in expensive jewelry and carrying branded bags. For Veronica, appearances said everything. She believed she could tell if someone belonged in her boutique with just one glance. One Tuesday afternoon, Veronica stood behind the counter, scrolling through her phone. Business was slow, and she was bored. The bell above the door jingled, and she looked up. A woman had walked in. She wasn't wearing anything flashy, just a simple cardigan, jeans, and comfortable shoes. Her hair was neatly tied back, and her face looked kind. Veronica's eyes narrowed. She doesn't look like someone who can afford anything here, she thought. The woman smiled at her and started looking around the store, her fingers gently brushing against the fabric of a silk dress. "Excuse me," the woman said in a warm tone. "Do you have this dress in another color?" Veronica raised an eyebrow. "Are you sure you want to check the price first?" she asked sharply, her voice dripping with doubt. The woman blinked, surprised. "I'm fine, thank you," she replied politely. Veronica crossed her arms and sighed loudly. She hated it when people walked in and wasted her time. "Just so you know, our dresses start at $5,000, she said with a forced smile. "They're not for everyone." The woman paused and looked at Veronica calmly. "I see," she said softly. She placed the dress back on the rack and continued browsing. But Veronica wasn't done. She walked over to the woman, her heels clicking on the floor. "I think you might be more comfortable shopping somewhere else," Veronica said firmly. "This is a high-end store, and we only cater to a certain kind of customer." The woman stared at Veronica for a moment. Her face showed no anger, no embarrassment, just quiet understanding. "Thank you," she said simply, and with a small nod, she walked out the door. As the bell jingled again, Veronica smirked. "Another one who doesn't belong," she muttered to herself. Little did she know, the woman she had just dismissed so rudely was none other than Michelle Obama, and her quiet exit was just the beginning of a story that would leave everyone in the boutique speechless. The boutique was back to its quiet rhythm. Veronica sat at her desk, feeling proud of herself. She believed she had done the right thing by protecting the store's image. She had seen too many people walk in, waste her time, and leave without buying a single thing. To her, the woman from earlier was just one of them. As the day went on, a few regular customers stopped by. Veronica greeted them with her best smile, offering compliments and assistance. These were the kind of clients she enjoyed serving. Dressed in luxury from head to toe, eager to spend, she barely thought about the woman she had sent away. Later that afternoon, one of the sales associates, Clara, approached Veronica. Clara was young and new to the job, but she was sharp and attentive. "Did you see who that lady was earlier?" Clara asked, her eyes wide with excitement. Veronica raised an eyebrow. "Who are you talking about?" she replied, flipping through a catalog. "The one in the cardigan." Clara nodded eagerly. "Yes, that was Michelle Obama," she whispered, as if saying the name out loud would summon her. Veronica froze. She stared at Clara, disbelief written all over her face. "Michelle Obama, the former First Lady?" she asked, her voice rising slightly. Clara nodded again, this time more certain. "I saw her on TV last week, and when she walked in, I thought she looked familiar, but I wasn't sure. I just looked her up, and it was definitely her." Veronica felt her stomach drop. Her mind raced back to the encounter. The simple clothes, the calm demeanor, and the polite smile. How could that have been Michelle Obama? She thought. She had assumed the woman was just an ordinary customer, with no intention of buying anything. "That can't be," Veronica said, trying to brush it off. "Why would someone like her come here?" Clara shrugged. Maybe she was looking for something special. She seemed really interested in that silk dress. Veronica's chest tightened. She didn't want to admit it, but the idea of having humiliated someone as famous and respected as Michelle Obama made her uneasy. "Well, if it was her, she should have said something," Veronica muttered defensively. "How was I supposed to know?" Clara didn't respond, but the look on her face said everything. Veronica could feel the judgment hanging in the air. She tried to shake it off, telling herself it didn't matter. "She's not coming back anyway," she thought. But word travels fast, especially in places like this. By the end of the day, the story of Michelle Obama's visit and Veronica's rude behavior had spread among the boutique staff. Some whispered about it in the break room, while others texted friends outside of work. The buzz was growing, and Veronica had no idea just how much attention it was about to attract. The boutique doors had closed for the night, but the story was only just beginning. The next day, as Veronica walked into the boutique, she felt the usual sense of confidence. The previous day's events seemed like a distant memory, and she was ready to take on the new day. However, when she entered the store, she immediately noticed something was off. The staff members were whispering to each other, casting quick glances in her direction. Veronica's eyes narrowed. What are they talking about? She wondered. She was used to the gossip among employees, but today it felt different, almost tense. Before she could ask anyone, Clara approached her with a look of excitement mixed with uncertainty. "You won't believe it," Clara said in a low voice, "but Michelle Obama is coming back today." Veronica froze. "What?" She quickly glanced at the door, half expecting Michelle to walk in at that very moment. The thought of facing the former First Lady again made her feel uneasy. She tried to cover her discomfort with a forced smile. "That's impossible. Why would she come back here?" Clara shrugged. "I don't know, but I heard she's coming to shop. She's already on her way." Veronica's mind raced. She thought about the previous day and how she had treated Michelle, sharply and dismissively. Her heart began to pound. What if she tells everyone about how I acted? What if the story goes viral? Despite her inner panic, Veronica decided to stay calm. She would just apologize, act polite, and pretend like nothing happened. After all, Michelle Obama was a celebrity, and she was used to people making mistakes around her. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But then, as the door opened, there she was, Michelle Obama, walking into the boutique with the same quiet confidence that Veronica had dismissed the day before. She was dressed in a simple but stylish outfit, and there was no sign of any anger or resentment in her expression. She smiled as she entered, just like any other customer, and walked towards the racks of clothing. Veronica's heart skipped a beat. This is it, she thought. This is my chance to fix things. Michelle walked up to Veronica, who was still standing near the counter. There was a brief moment of silence. Veronica felt all eyes on them. Staff members, customers, even a few people passing by outside the window. The tension was thick. Then Michelle spoke in a calm, friendly voice. "Hi, I was here yesterday and I wanted to come back to look at some of your dresses. I didn't have much time to really look around yesterday. Could you help me today?" Veronica blinked, taken aback. She wasn't sure if she should apologize first or just jump straight into helping her. But there was something about Michelle's kindness that made Veronica feel both humbled and nervous at the same time. Of course. I'm so sorry about yesterday," Veronica stammered. "I didn't realize who you were. It was wrong of me to act the way I did." Michelle smiled warmly, putting Veronica at ease. "It's all right," she said. "Everyone makes mistakes. I'm just happy to be back." Veronica could hardly believe it. "She's forgiving me." The woman she had so wrongly judged was standing right in front of her, giving her another chance. As Veronica led Michelle through the boutique, she couldn't help but feel the weight of the moment. This was no longer about selling dresses. It was about making things right, about showing Michelle the respect she deserved. But Veronica didn't know that Michelle's return wasn't just a simple visit. It was a turning point that would change everything in the boutique. As Veronica guided Michelle through the boutique, she found herself more nervous than she had ever been. The guilt from the previous day was still fresh, but Michelle's calm and gracious presence made it easier for Veronica to move forward. She tried to focus on the task at hand, helping Michelle find the perfect outfit. But something inside her kept reminding her that this moment could either make or break her reputation. The boutique was busier than usual, and a few high-profile customers had stopped by. Unaware of Michelle's visit, Veronica could hear the whispers as people noticed Michelle, though they didn't seem to recognize her right away. It was as if everyone was waiting for some kind of sign. Veronica glanced nervously around, knowing the eyes of her colleagues were on her. Michelle, for her part, remained relaxed. She looked at the various dresses with genuine interest, occasionally asking Veronica for her opinion. Veronica couldn't help but admire Michelle's effortless elegance. There was no pretension in the way Michelle interacted with her or the staff. It was as though she was just another customer, someone who appreciated fine clothing without feeling the need to impress anyone. "Do you have this in a size larger?" Michelle asked, pointing to a sleek, deep blue dress. Veronica hesitated for a moment. She could have simply said yes and moved on, but something about Michelle's down-to-earth approach made her pause. Instead of offering the dress right away, Veronica took a moment to think carefully. "We might have it in the back," she said thoughtfully. "I'll check. But I also think you would look stunning in this one." She pulled out another dress, one that wasn't part of the main collection but still incredibly beautiful. Michelle smiled as she took the dress in her hands. "I love it," she said. "You've got a great eye." Veronica's cheeks flushed with both pride and guilt. She realized, for the first time, that Michelle wasn't just someone to impress. She wasn't concerned with what Veronica thought of her. What mattered was the respect they showed each other. And Veronica had failed miserably in that regard yesterday. As Veronica went to check for Michelle's size, she had a quiet moment to reflect. Why had I judged her so quickly? She wondered. Why didn't I take the time to see who she really was instead of assuming she didn't belong? When Veronica returned, she found Michelle sitting comfortably, smiling as she browsed through the accessories. "I've got your size in the back," Veronica said, her voice calmer now. "But I also found this," she added, handing Michelle the dress they had discussed earlier. "I think it's perfect for you." Michelle looked at Veronica, her smile widening. "Thank you, Veronica. You really are a great manager." Veronica's heart skipped a beat. She had expected some kind of comment about the way she had treated Michelle the day before. But Michelle hadn't brought it up. It was as if she had already moved past the awkwardness and was focused on the moment. Veronica felt a sense of gratitude wash over her. Michelle wasn't holding her mistakes against her. Instead, she was giving her the chance to show who she really was. As Veronica watched Michelle try on the dress, she realized something important. Sometimes, it takes a moment of humility to truly see the worth of others. It wasn't just about appearances or social status. True class and elegance came from how a person treated others, regardless of who they were. As Michelle stepped out of the fitting room, wearing the dress Veronica had suggested, the entire atmosphere in the boutique shifted. The dress fit perfectly, hugging Michelle's figure gracefully. The deep blue fabric seemed to glow against her skin, and she looked every bit as elegant as the iconic public figure she was. But it was the way she carried herself, so confident and comfortable, that truly captivated everyone in the room. Veronica couldn't stop staring for a moment. She felt a sense of pride, knowing she had helped Michelle find something that suited her so well. But more than that, she was struck by how easy it had been to work with Michelle. The woman had shown nothing but kindness and patience, even after the way Veronica had treated her the day before. "You look stunning," Veronica said, her voice full of admiration. "I'm so glad you liked it." Michelle smiled warmly, her eyes sparkling. "Thank you, Veronica. I really appreciate your help." For the first time since their awkward encounter, Veronica felt like she was in the right place. She wasn't just a boutique manager trying to make a sale. She was a person who had been given a second chance, a chance to show respect and humility. And Michelle had made it possible. After Michelle made her decision and picked out the dress, she walked over to the counter, where Veronica began to ring her up. It was a moment of silence, but there was no tension. The boutique felt different now, as if the air had cleared. Veronica could tell that Michelle was at peace, and she herself was beginning to feel that way too. Just as Veronica finished, Michelle looked at her thoughtfully. "You know," she said, "I'm not upset about what happened yesterday. It's easy to make snap judgments, but it's more important to give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm glad we had this chance to talk." Veronica's eyes widened in surprise. She had expected Michelle to be angry or disappointed, but instead, she was offering advice. Simple, wise words that Veronica had needed to hear. "I'm really sorry for how I treated you," Veronica replied, her voice sincere. "I shouldn't have judged you based on your appearance. I've learned a lot from you today." Michelle nodded, her expression kind. "It's okay. We all make mistakes. What matters is how we learn from them." As Michelle left the boutique, Veronica watched her walk out the door. The sunlight outside seemed to shine a little brighter, and Veronica felt a weight lift off her shoulders. For the first time in a long time, she didn't feel as if she needed to prove herself to anyone. Michelle had shown her that true worth isn't about appearance or status. It's about how you treat others and how you carry yourself through the world. That day, Veronica made a promise to herself. She would never again judge someone based on how they looked or what she assumed about them. Michelle had taught her an invaluable lesson, and she was determined to be a better person because of it. And as the boutique buzzed with activity, Veronica knew that something had changed, not just in her, but in the way she would approach every customer from now on. Michelle's visit had been a turning point, one that would change the boutique forever. The next few days at the boutique were unusually busy. Veronica noticed that there was a change in the atmosphere, one that she hadn't expected. The staff was working more efficiently, and there was a new sense of excitement in the air. It felt as though the whole boutique had been given a fresh start, and Veronica couldn't help but wonder if Michelle's visit had something to do with it. One afternoon, as Veronica was rearranging the display of handbags, Clara rushed up to her, her face full of excitement. "Veronica, you won't believe who's here," she said, almost out of breath. Veronica turned around, her heart suddenly racing. Could it be Michelle again? She thought. But then Clara added, "It's one of Michelle's friends. She's brought a whole group of people with her." Veronica's mind raced. What do I do? What if I mess up again? She took a deep breath to calm herself. This time, she knew she had to approach things differently. She couldn't let her previous mistakes cloud her judgment. "This time, I will be kind and respectful to everyone." "Okay," Veronica said, nodding. "Let's welcome them properly. Show them the best we have." As Clara led the group inside, Veronica's eyes widened. It wasn't just one or two people. It was a group of well-dressed women, all looking confident and elegant. Veronica recognized a few of them from social media and magazine covers. It was clear they weren't just ordinary shoppers. The leader of the group, a tall woman with short hair and a warm smile, stepped forward. "Hi, I'm Marie," she said. "Michelle sent us. She told us this boutique was special." Veronica's stomach did a little flip. She had heard about people who worked with Michelle, but meeting them in person was a different experience. These were the kind of people Veronica had always admired from afar, people with influence and grace. She knew she had to impress them, but she didn't want to fall back into her old habits of being judgmental. "Welcome, Marie. It's a pleasure to meet you all," Veronica said, trying to keep her voice steady. "Please, feel free to browse. If you need anything, I'll be right here to assist." The group split up to explore the boutique, and Veronica began to show them different outfits, engaging with each person with a newfound sense of humility. She listened closely to their preferences, offering suggestions based on what they seemed to like. As she did, she realized how much more fulfilling it was to truly help people rather than trying to impress them with her own judgment or ideas of who they were. An hour later, one of the women approached Veronica with a dress in her hands. "I think this is the one," she said, smiling. "I trust your judgment. Michelle said you have a great eye." Veronica's heart swelled with pride. For the first time, she felt like she had earned the trust of a customer, not because of her status, but because of her ability to listen and truly care about their needs. As the group made their purchases and began to leave, Mary came over to Veronica one last time. "You did a great job today. Michelle was right about you," she said with a wink. "We'll definitely be back." Veronica felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. She had made a real connection with these women, not because of their wealth or status, but because she had chosen to treat them with respect and kindness. And that felt better than anything she had ever experienced in the boutique. Word of Michelle Obama's visit to the boutique and the kindness Veronica had shown her spread quickly. At first, Veronica wasn't sure how people would react. After all, she had made a huge mistake by judging Michelle the day before, but it seemed that Michelle's second visit had left a lasting impression not just on Veronica, but on everyone in the boutique. It wasn't long before more high-profile customers began walking through the doors, each one looking for something special. Veronica was no longer just the manager who ran the boutique. She had earned a reputation as someone who truly cared about her customers. People were starting to notice. One afternoon, while Veronica was assisting a regular customer with a new collection of scarves, a woman walked into the boutique that Veronica immediately recognized. It was another celebrity, a well-known actress who had recently starred in a hit movie. The actress had a reputation for being hard to please, and her visits to boutiques often created tense moments. Veronica took a deep breath. She knew that this could be her test. She could no longer hide behind her judgments or assumptions about who deserved her attention. She had learned from her mistakes, and now it was time to show the world that she had truly changed. "Welcome to our boutique," Veronica said with a warm smile, walking over to the actress. "How can I help you today?" The actress gave her a slight nod, looking at Veronica carefully. "I'm looking for something elegant for an upcoming event," she said, her voice soft but firm. "But it has to be perfect. Nothing too flashy, but it still has to make an impression." Veronica immediately thought of a few pieces that might work. She led the actress to a display of evening gowns, offering suggestions based on her subtle but clear description of what she wanted. As she worked with the actress, Veronica kept her focus on listening to her needs without assuming anything about her. She didn't rush to impress or make judgments based on her celebrity status. After a few moments of browsing, the actress stopped in front of a sleek black dress with delicate lace accents. Veronica had an instinct that this would be the one. "This is beautiful," the actress said, looking in the mirror. "It's perfect for the occasion." Veronica felt a sense of pride. It wasn't just about selling a dress. It was about connecting with her customer, understanding what they wanted, and making sure they felt valued. "You look amazing in it," Veronica said, smiling. "I think it's the perfect choice for you." The actress smiled back, her eyes softening. "Thank you, Veronica. You really know your stuff." As the actress made her purchase and prepared to leave, she paused and turned to Veronica. "You know," she said, "I've been to a lot of boutiques, and I have to say, you've earned my respect. You've made this experience so pleasant. I'll definitely be coming back." Veronica's heart swelled with gratitude. She had done it. She had proved to herself that she could be a manager who valued her customers for who they were, not just what they looked like or what they could spend. The boutique had become more than just a place to sell luxury items. It had become a place of respect, kindness, and genuine connection. And as the actress left, Veronica couldn't help but think back to Michelle's visit and the lesson she had taught her. Sometimes it takes a small moment to change everything. That one visit had changed not just Veronica's approach to her work, but also the reputation of the boutique itself. The days after the actress's visit were some of the busiest Veronica had ever experienced at the boutique. More and more customers, both new and returning, came through the door, and each one seemed to feel the warmth and respect that now filled the boutique. Veronica worked harder than ever to maintain the new reputation she had earned, one that was built on kindness, humility, and a genuine desire to help. One bright morning, as she was arranging a display of scarves near the front window, the bell above the door rang. Veronica looked up, expecting to see a familiar customer or another new face. But when she saw who had walked in, her heart skipped a beat. It was Michelle Obama. Veronica immediately stood up straighter, feeling a rush of both gratitude and nervousness. After all that had happened, Michelle's return felt like a full circle, a reminder of how far Veronica had come. She had learned so much from their last interaction, and she was determined to make this visit even better. Michelle smiled as she walked in, her presence calm and confident, just like last time. She didn't look for any grand attention. She simply entered the boutique with grace. Veronica walked toward her, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. "Hi, Michelle," Veronica said, her voice filled with warmth. "It's so good to see you again." Michelle's smile widened as she stepped forward. "It's good to be back, Veronica," she said, her voice as friendly as ever. "I've been thinking about your boutique a lot. I wanted to come back and see what's new." Veronica's heart warmed at Michelle's words. She had expected nothing from Michelle. After all, the kindness Michelle had shown her the last time had already made such a big impact. But hearing her speak so kindly felt like a gift. "I'm so glad you came back," Veronica replied. "I've learned a lot from you. I've been working hard to make this a place where everyone feels welcome. I hope we've improved since the last time you were here." Michelle nodded, her eyes thoughtful. "I can tell," she said. "There's a different feeling in the air. I'm proud of you for turning things around." Veronica felt a deep sense of gratitude, almost overwhelmed by Michelle's words. She had no idea just how much Michelle's visit had impacted her life, and now hearing that she had noticed the change made everything worth it. The two spent some time chatting, and Michelle picked out a few items she liked. As Veronica helped her, she couldn't help but think about how much her life had changed since that fateful day when she had judged Michelle. Now she was more confident, more open, and more compassionate, not just in her work, but in the way she approached the world. Before Michelle left, she turned to Veronica one last time. "Keep up the good work," she said, her voice full of encouragement. "You've come a long way, and I can see how much you've grown." Veronica's heart swelled with pride. "Thank you, Michelle. You've taught me more than you know." As Michelle walked out the door, Veronica stood there for a moment, reflecting on the journey she had been on. The boutique was no longer just a store. It had become a place of change, of growth, and of understanding. And it was all thanks to one visit, one lesson that had changed everything. Veronica smiled to herself as she looked around the boutique. It had become more than just a place to sell luxury items. It had become a symbol of transformation. And she knew that the best part was yet to come.